On today's episode, we're going to talk about 5 ways that you can help your team or organization become a massive differentiator in the marketplace by giving people a truly authentic and countercultural experience as a part of your culture. Welcome back to The Thermostat with Jason Barger. If you're currently on a commute, a walk, or just a micro break in your day, glad you're making time to step back, to think, and to reflect on the next steps on your journey. I've never been more convinced the best leaders and team cultures in the world are the ones that make time to step back, breathe in good oxygen, and calibrate their thermostat. I hope today's conversation leaves you feeling grounded and inspired. Now let's dive into today's topic to engage our minds and hearts in order to authentically lead and create compelling cultures wherever we are in the world. Hey everybody, it's Jason and welcome back to the Thermostat Podcast. So glad you are here. Welcome in to anybody who is a new listener. So excited you're here. This pod continues to grow and spread, so glad you are here. Those of you that have been with us from day one, welcome back. We are in Season 8, well over 220 episodes by now, so thanks to everybody that's been a part of this journey. My commitment to you, as always, will be to help this be a time for you to step back, think about some stuff, hopefully have some good oxygen breathed into you for your life, for the way you're thinking about the temperature you're trying to set in your life, in your work, and with the people that you lead and serve. And so glad you are with us today. If you'll do me a quick favor before we dive into today's episode, if you will rate the podcast 5 stars, on every platform that you listen to it on, that's very much appreciated. You'll leave an authentic review in your own words about why these messages are, important in the world or meaningful. That is always helpful. And of course, every time you invite somebody to listen to an episode, share it on social media, share it with your team at work, say, let's talk about it. Those are ways in which these messages are amplified further into the world. So thanks to everybody who does that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Every team and organization that I encounter right now, and certainly forever, they've said they want to create a compelling culture that others want to be a part of. They recognize the connection between culture and their performance. Whatever the organization mission is, whatever the company's goals are, mission, they understand that in order to meet those metrics and sustainably grow their organization and or their company further into the future, that they know that the culture, not just what they do, but how they show up to do it, and creating a compelling culture that others want to be a part of is critical for their existence and for their performance. And so they want to be special. They want their culture, they want their organization, they want the brand, their employee brand. They want it to be unique, they want it to be special. They want it to be different than other teams and organizations, a place that retains the very best people and attracts new people that want to be a part of it. So, as you know, we've just wrapped up a 4-part series that I've done on trust. And if you didn't listen to that, I encourage you to go back and listen because it's great stuff and it's really gotten a great response. But if you've been a part and you've been listening to this 4-part series on trust, then you'll get this recent research that's come out just over the last couple of months from Gallup, you'll recognize this. But this stat just jumped out to me. It just, as soon as I heard it, I was like, wait, what? Because it's counter to what I'm experiencing with the teams and organizations that I'm certainly involved in and helping with leadership development or culture shaping and that clarity around mission, vision, and values. But listen to these stats across organizations and companies across industries. Gallup tells us that right now, just new research that came out in the last month, that they indicate that only 23% of employees in the world, 23% of employees strongly agree that they trust the leadership of their team and their organization and the direction that it's heading. Only 23% of employees say that they trust the leadership of their team and their organization and the direction that it's heading. And so when we think about this idea of all of us wanting to create teams and cultures that are compelling and that other people want to be a part of and that are unique and special and are different, and where the very best people stay as a part of our team and organization, and we attract new talent with skills and gifts to join us. The massive opportunity that stat shows us, the massive opportunity to be a differentiator, is by creating an authentic culture where trust is the foundation and is developed. That many of the leaders, teams, and organizations that I support, obviously they recognize the importance of raising the level of trust within their teams and earning that trust of their teammates. And as the leader, I know that you want people to trust you and where you're heading as a team. But as you know, trust isn't as simple as just blindly trusting. It's something that we barter back and forth and we earn. So this stat has jumped out to me and has led to why we're even having this podcast episode today, because the massive opportunity in front of us is, if only 23% of people in the world feel like they trust their leadership of their team and organization, the directions it's heading, then there's a massive opportunity to be different than that. And we know that great cultures build trust within their teams and recognize when opportunities arise where they see, there is an opportunity for us to build and develop our level of trust. So on today's episode, we're going to talk about 5 ways that you can help your team or organization become a massive differentiator in the marketplace by giving people a truly authentic and countercultural experience as a part of your culture. But before we dive into today's topic, let's pause, take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Many teams and organizations right now are realizing that they need to do both. They need to engage the minds and hearts of their people in person, where everyone in the room can experience the energy of congregating together and find clarity for the road ahead. And they also need to continue to find ways to engage the minds and hearts of their people virtually, with those who are working remotely or at a distance. So, if you are in the process of planning your next team meeting, company all-hands event, conference, or culture summit, and are looking for support with a powerful keynote speech, facilitated team conversations that are the currency for change, or deeper development on leadership mindset and an intentional strategy for the culture you're trying to create, I hope you'll contact us at jasonvbarger.com, jasonvbarger.com. It is my privilege and our honor to partner with great people to provide support in these areas. We want to breathe oxygen into your leaders and throughout your organization so you can set the temperature you want for your culture. We look forward to connecting with you soon. I hope you'll contact us at jasonvbarger.com, jasonvbarger.com. It is my privilege and our honor to partner with great people to provide support in these areas. We want to breathe oxygen into your leaders and throughout your organization so you can set the temperature you want for your culture. We look forward to connecting with you soon. All right, your team will be countercultural if the people on your team trust the leadership. Your team will be countercultural if the people on your team trust the leadership. Your team will be countercultural if your people trust in the direction that your team is heading. Your team will be countercultural if people want to be a part of your mission, if they feel cared for, if they feel their contributions are appreciated, and that the organization they work for wants to support their development. The reason why, if you're doing those things, you will be countercultural is because, again, if we're at a time when only 23% of employees trust in the leaders and trust in the direction of their organization, and connected to that exact same research was the stat that came out that said only 20% of employees feel connected to their organizational culture. Only 20% feel connected to their organizational culture. So if we can do the opposite of that, if we can have way higher levels of trust, that our employees trust the leadership and the direction the organization is headed, which doesn't mean it's perfect, doesn't mean any leaders are perfect, doesn't mean the organization is perfect, but if we can raise the level of trust that people have in the leaders and the direction, and engage and connect people to the organizational or team culture that we are co-creating together, then you will be a massive differentiator. You, in fact, will be countercultural to what most employees are experiencing in the world today. And so, in order to be different than those awful 23% statistics or 20% connected to culture, which I can't imagine, because the best organizations recognize developing people and culture as not just an add-on, but as a critical strategy to their future existence, let alone their performance. So in order to be different than those kind of places with the 23% statistics or the 20% statistics is to do more than just these 5 things, but here are 5 things that we need to do in order to be differentiators. 1, we need to listen to our people and listen to those statistics and listen to other people's viewpoints and bring people within our team and within our organization into participation around the culture that they want to create. And if trust levels are low, if the culture, we're not feeling connected to it, let's listen to our people. And it's, oftentimes I talk about in my work with organizations is oftentimes we'll take the temperature. You do surveys, you do interviews, you do listening campaigns, all of the things in order to take the temperature of an organization and do that kind of cultural organizational audit. But taking the temperature is one thing. We got to listen to our people to see that. And then we can get to the real work, which is setting the temperature and helping to move the needle so that people can feel something different. But it starts with listening. If we can not only listen, but we can show people authenticity, which means sharing transparently what the obstacles are that we might be facing as a team or as an organization, or for you personally as a leader, what are those that you're facing? And don't pretend to be something you're not. And so in these organizations where the trust level is so low with leaders, oftentimes it's because the employee doesn't feel like they have all the information, they don't feel like the leader's being real with them, or they feel like something is missing or the leaders are pretending to be something they're not. So if we can listen, if we can show up with authenticity and be genuine with people, we will be countercultural. The third thing is, can we show empathy? Can we show empathy? If we can show empathy to people, which is a way of showing your people that you care about them and what's in it for them, and learn what they care about, and then get in the business of caring about what they care about. If you remember an episode I did about this idea of organizational empathy, if not, go back and check it out, organizational empathy. I talk about this idea of, and again, if we can do that and show this to people, we will be massive differentiators in the market. If we can the fourth thing is to show logic. A lot of times where people lack a trust, it starts to wane for people, or people start to feel disconnected from the team or from the organization, is because they don't see the logic behind why and you haven't maybe articulated the why very well, the purpose or the mission, why decisions have been made and why we're heading in the direction that we are. And when we can connect people to the reasoning and the logic, people start to feel more connected and are more likely to buy in. And then lastly, the fifth thing is we can't wait for people to engage with us. We've got to go to people. We got to meet people where they are, and we've got to engage with them. We've got to build in specific time to get out of just the tasks of our jobs or the doing of the work, to build in specific time to engage the minds and hearts of our people and bring them into participation to help shape the future culture of not just what we do as an organization or as a business, but how we're committed to doing it and collaborating with each other. And so if we can listen, if we can show authenticity, if we can show empathy, if we can show logic, and if we can choose to engage with people, oh, by the way, not only will we be differentiators in the marketplace and be countercultural to what most people experience with their leaders and with their teams, but the performance metrics will follow. And I see it time and time again with the organizations that I'm fortunate to serve. So, some questions to quickly ponder before we wrap up today's podcast. How can you build trust with your people? How can you build trust with your people? In what ways can you show authenticity and empathy to your people? What logic or reasoning will help people better understand where you are heading as a team? And what's the strategy of how you can better engage the minds and hearts of your people? I hope today's episode got you thinking in some ways. If a deeper dive into any of these topics is interesting to you, or if we can help in any ways, please reach out to us at info@jasonvbarger.com, info@jasonvbarger.com, and let us know. We'll continue to design content to help meet you where you are. Lastly, I'll just encourage you to go back and listen to a number of the past episodes, not only ones I just referenced in today's episode, but now we have 220 episodes, so more than that now. So go back, check out topics. Chances are we've done a pod on a topic that is important to you right now. Cheers to you and the path ahead of us, and remember that the future of leadership is you, is me, is us, and we have the opportunity to get clear on the temperature we hope to set, and then to be courageous and committed to breathing oxygen into the mindsets and actions that will sustain our path forward. Step back, remember, be a thermostat, and breathe good oxygen. Thank you for listening to today's podcast, and I hope the messages and questions stimulate positive change along your path. As always, if these messages resonate with you and add value to your life, I hope you'll help amplify them throughout the world. Please rate, comment, and share on whatever podcast or social media platform you're using, and share this podcast with the people in your life or work who should be part of these conversations. That way, this spirit does, in fact, spread. If these messages or developing leaders and culture would be helpful to you and your organization, please contact us at jasonvbarger.com, jasonvbarger.com. And remember, we are all ambassadors for the culture we want to create in our life and work. We have to own the vision we want to be a part of. The future of leadership is you, is me, is us. Be a thermostat.